Welcome to the audiobook of the Revival of Islamic Sciences by the legendary Al-Ghazali, brought to you by joyful Muslims. Across 40 books, Al-Ghazali takes us on a profound journey through faith, knowledge, and inner transformation. We begin with the introduction. Introduction. What the Apostle gives you, take, and what he forbids, desist from it. Quran chapter 59, verse 7. In the name of Allah, the Merciful, the Compassionate. First, I praise Allah continuously, though the praise of the servant does not do justice to his glory. Second, I invoke the blessing of Allah upon his Apostle, the Lord of mankind, as well as upon the other messengers. Third, I ask his help, having resolved to write a book on the revival of the religious sciences. Fourth, I proceed to enlighten you, who are the most self-righteous of those who reject belief, and you, who are the most immoderate of the thoughtless unbelievers. I am no longer obliged to remain silent, because the responsibility to speak, as well as warn you, has been imposed upon me by your persistent straying from the clear truth, and by your insistence upon fostering evil, flattering ignorance, and stirring up opposition against him who, in order to conform to the dictates of knowledge, deviates from custom and the established practice of men. In doing this, he fulfills Allah's prescriptions for purifying the self and reforming the heart, thus somewhat redeeming a life that has already been dissipated in despair of prevention and remedy. He avoids the company of the one whom the lawgiver described when he said, "The most severely punished of all men on the day of resurrection will be a learned man whom Allah has not blessed with his knowledge. For by my life, there is no reason for your abiding arrogance except the malady that has become an epidemic among the multitudes." That malady consists in not discerning this matter's importance, the gravity of the problem, and the seriousness of the crisis, in not seeing that life is waning and that what is to come is close at hand, that death is imminent, but the journey is still long, that the provisions are scanty, the dangers great and the road blocked. The perceptive know that only knowledge and works devoted to Allah avail. To tread the crowded and dangerous path of the hereafter with neither guide nor companion is difficult, tiring, and strenuous. The guides for the road are the learned men who are the heirs of the Prophet, but the times are void of them now, and only the superficial are left, most of whom have been lured by iniquity and overcome by Satan. Each of them is so wrapped up in his immediate fortune that he has come to see good as evil and evil as good, so that the science of religion has disappeared, and the torch of true faith has been extinguished all over the world. They have duped the people into believing that there is no knowledge except such ordinances of government as the judges use to settle disputes when the mob dots, or the type of argument which the vainglorious display in order to confuse and refute, or the elaborate and flowery language with which the preacher seeks to lure the common folk. They have done this because apart from these three, they can find no other ways to snare illegal profit and gain the riches of the world. On the other hand, the science of the path of the hereafter, which our forefathers trod, and which includes what Allah in his book called law, wisdom, knowledge, enlightenment, light, guidance, and righteousness, has vanished from among men and been completely forgotten. Since this is a calamity afflicting religion and a grave crisis overshadowing it, I have therefore deemed it important to engage in writing this book. To revive the science of religion, to bring to light the exemplary lives of the departed imams, and to show what branches of knowledge the prophets and the virtuous fathers regarded as useful. I have divided the work into 4 parts or quarters. These are the acts of worship, the usages of life, the destructive matters in life, and the saving matters in life. I have begun the work with the Book of Knowledge because it is of the utmost importance to determine, first of all, the knowledge which Allah has ordered the elite to seek. This is shown by the words of the Apostle of Allah when he said, "Seeking knowledge is an ordinance obligatory upon every Muslim." Furthermore, I have begun with the book on knowledge in order to distinguish between useful and harmful knowledge. As the Prophet said, "We seek refuge in Allah from useless knowledge," and also to show the deviation of the people of this age from right conduct, their delusion as by a glistening mirage, and their satisfaction with the husks of knowledge rather than the pith. The quarter on the acts of worship comprises 10 books. 1. The Book of Knowledge. 2. The Articles of Faith. 3. The Mysteries of Purity. 4. The Mysteries of Prayer. 5. The mysteries of almsgiving. 6. The mysteries of fasting. 7. The mysteries of the pilgrimage. 8. The rules of reading the Quran. 9. On invocations and supplications. 10th. On the office of portions. The quarter on usages of life comprises 10 books. 1. The ethics of eating. 2. The ethics of marriage. 3. The ethics of earning a livelihood. 4. On the lawful and the unlawful. 5. The ethics of companionship and fellowship with various types of men. 6. On seclusion. 7. The ethics of travel. 8. On audition and grief. 9. On enjoining good and forbidding evil. The ethics of living as exemplified in the virtues of the Prophet. The quarter on the destructive matters of life comprises 10 books. 1. On the wonders of the heart. 2. On the discipline of the soul. 3. On the curse of the two appetites, the appetite of the stomach and the appetite of sex. 4. The curse of the tongue. 5. The curse of anger, rancor, and envy. 6. The evil of the world. 7. The evil of wealth and avarice. 8. The evil of pomp and hypocrisy. 9. The evil of pride and conceit. 10. The evils of vanity. The quarter on the saving matters of life comprises 10 books. 1. On repentance. 2. On patience and gratitude. 3. On fear and hope. 4th. On poverty and asceticism. 5th. On divine unity and dependence. 6. On love, longing, intimacy, and contentment. 7. On intentions, truthfulness, and sincerity. 8. On self-examination and self-accounting. 9. On meditation. 10. On death. In the quarter on the acts of worship, I shall mention some of the hidden elements of its etiquette, the niceties of its rules, and the mysteries of its meanings. These the active learned man badly needs. Without their knowledge, no one will be versed in the science of the hereafter. Most of this information has been neglected in theological studies. In the quarter on the usages of life, I shall deal with the rules of practical religion current among men, its deep mysteries, intricate technique, and the piety concealed in its rules of conduct, which no religious man can do without. In the quarter on the destructive matters of life, I shall enumerate every abhorred trait whose exposure the Quran has ordered, as well as dealing with the purifying of the soul and the cleansing of the heart from them. Under every one of these traits, I shall give its definition, the truth about it, its origin, its evil consequences, its symptoms, and finally its treatment. To all this will be added illustrations from the Quran, tradition, and antiquity. In the quarter on the saving matters of life, I shall enumerate every praiseworthy trait and every one of the desirable qualities of Allah's favorites and the saints, by means of which the slave seeks to draw near to the Lord of the universe. Similarly, under each quality, I shall give its definition, the truth about it, its origin, its fruit, the sign by which it is known, its excellence which renders it desirable, together with examples to illustrate it from the fields of law and reason. It is true that men have written several works on some of these aspects, but this one differs from them in 5 ways. First, by clarifying what they have obscured and elucidating what they have treated casually. Second, by arranging what they have disarranged and organizing what they have scattered. Third, by condensing what they have elaborated and correcting what they have approved. Fourth, by deleting what they have repeated and verifying what they have set down. Fifth, by determining ambiguous matters which have hitherto been unintelligible and never dealt with in any work. For although all have followed one course, there is no reason why one should not proceed independently and bring to light something unknown, paying special attention to what his colleagues have forgotten. It is possible that such obscure things are noticed, but mention of them in writing is overlooked. Or again, it may not be a case of overlooking them, but rather one of being prevented from exposing them. These, therefore, are the characteristics of this work which comprises the aggregate of the previously enumerated sciences. 2 things have induced me to divide the work into 4 quarters. The first and original motive is that such an arrangement in research and exposition is imperative, because the science by which we approach the hereafter is divided into the science of revelation, I mean knowledge and only knowledge. By the science of practical religion, I mean knowledge as well as action in accordance with that knowledge. This work will focus solely on the science of practical religion and not on revelation, which cannot be recorded in writing. Revelation is the ultimate aim of saints and the desire of the sincere. The science of practical religion serves as a path that leads to revelation. Through this path, the prophets of Allah communicated with the people and guided them to Him. Regarding revelation itself, the prophets spoke figuratively and briefly through signs and symbols, acknowledging the limitations of human understanding. Since the learned individuals are the heirs of the prophets, they must follow in their footsteps and emulate their ways. Moreover, the science of practical religion is divided into outward science, concerning the functions of the senses, and inward science, concerning the functions of the heart. The bodily organs engage in acts of worship or usages of life, while the heart, being separate from the senses and belonging to the realm of dominion, is influenced by either praiseworthy or blameworthy qualities. Therefore, this science inevitably divides into two parts, outward and inward. The outward, related to the senses, is further subdivided into acts of worship and usages of life. The inward, concerning the heart's conditions and the soul's qualities, is divided into praiseworthy and objectionable aspects. Together, these encompass the four parts of the science of practical religion, a classification that is widely accepted. My second motive for this division stems from observing genuine interest among students in jurisprudence, which has become popular among those who do not fear Allah, often for the sake of boasting and exploiting its influence. Jurisprudence is also divided into quarters. Therefore, modeling this book after works on jurisprudence may effectively engage readers. A historical example includes one individual who sought to attract attention to the science of medicine by arranging it like astronomical lists, creating tables and numbers, and calling his book Tables of Health. This approach aimed to draw interest toward his subject. Drawing hearts to the science beneficial for spiritual life is far more significant than merely attracting attention to medicine, which serves only physical health. The true fruit of this science is the treatment of hearts and souls, leading to a life of eternal significance. How inferior is the medicine of the body, destined to decay in time. Thus, we beseech Allah for guidance along the right path and the way of truth. Indeed, He is the generous and the all-bounteous. As we embark on this journey through the revival of Islamic sciences, may each book inspire us to seek deeper understanding and inner transformation. Now, let's open the Book of Knowledge, where Al-Ghazali unveils the power of knowledge as the first step towards spiritual awakening and truth.